His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa chaired the weekly cabinet meeting at Qudaibiya Palace on the occasion of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's royal order convening the Shura Council and the Council of Representatives. The cabinet confirmed its anticipation of His Majesty's forthcoming address, which will mark the opening of the fourth session of the sixth legislative term. The cabinet underscored the importance of His Majesty's address as the guiding framework for defining national priorities and advancing the kingdom's comprehensive development. The cabinet directed the relevant ministerial committees and the government entities to enhance coordination with the legislative authority to ensure the continued advancement of national interests. The cabinet congratulated His Majesty on McLaren's victory in the Formula One Constructors' Championship for the second consecutive year, marking the team's 10th overall title. The cabinet emphasized that this achievement builds on the kingdom's record of international successes and enhances its standing on the global sporting stage. The cabinet followed up on the special procedures on the implementation of His Royal Highness's directives to offer 3 job opportunities to every registered Bahraini employment applicant before the end of the year. This aligns with the realization of His Majesty's far-reaching visions to create opportunities for Bahrainis across various sectors. The cabinet commended the relentless efforts of the national workforce in advancing the kingdom's progress, highlighting the excellence, creativity and dedication of Bahrainis across various sectors. The cabinet extended its gratitude to the Ministry of Labour for its efforts and swift implementation of these directives to provide 3 job opportunities to every registered Bahraini job seeker by 2026. The cabinet also thanked the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry for its role in facilitating these opportunities. The cabinet reinforced the importance of the recent official visit of His Royal Highness to the Vatican City-State. During the visit, His Royal Highness met with His Holiness Pope Leo XIV, noting the importance of the visit in strengthening the long-standing ties between Bahrain and the Vatican. The cabinet also noted His Royal Highness's visit to Italy, where he met with the President of the Council of Ministers of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, and several other senior officials. The cabinet highlighted the significance of the visit's outcome in developing Bahrain-Italy relations and partnerships, thus contributing to achieving common aspirations and goals. This follows the cabinet's review of a report submitted by the Minister of the Prime Minister's Court in this regard. The cabinet underscored the importance of relevant authorities intensifying efforts to combat human trafficking in line with the kingdom's commitment to protecting labour rights and supporting business owners through the ongoing development of labour market systems and procedures. This directive follows the kingdom's recent achievement of maintaining Tier 1 status in the U.S. Department of State Trafficking in Persons report for the 8th consecutive year. The cabinet thanked the Minister of Interior and other relevant authorities for their efforts in this regard. This milestone reflects the far-reaching vision of His Majesty and the directive of His Royal Highness to strengthen the values of justice, the protection of rights, and the creation of a safe and equitable work environment for all as part of the kingdom's comprehensive development. The cabinet welcomed Bahrain's attainment of first place in the 2025 Microsoft Showcase Schools program, a global competition among schools, and congratulated the Ministry of Education on this achievement. The cabinet affirmed that this international recognition reflects Bahrain's commitment to advancing educational programs that enhance innovation, creativity, and excellence. The cabinet welcomed the peace plan presented by U.S. President Donald Trump, which calls for a ceasefire in Gaza, the release of hostages and detainees, and the facilitation of humanitarian aid. The cabinet considered the initiative a positive step towards achieving security and peace in the Middle East. The cabinet urged the international community to intensify efforts and for all parties to uphold their commitments in support of peace initiatives that seek to end the conflict and ease the suffering of the people of Gaza. The Cabinet then reviewed and approved the following memorandums. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Financial and Economic Affairs and Fiscal Balance regarding the quarterly economic report for the second quarter of 2025. The report revealed a 2.5% annual growth in GDP at constant prices, supported by 3.5% growth in non-oil activities. 2. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Financial and Economic Affairs and Fiscal Balance regarding cooperation between several government entities and the private sector on projects in education and health sectors. 3. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Financial and Economic Affairs and Fiscal Balance regarding Bahrain's contributions to international organizations. 4. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding the statement of intent on the establishment of the Asset Recovery Interagency Network in the East and North African region and its accompanying charter. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding an MOU between the Telecommunications Regulatory Authority and the Office of the National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission of Thailand on cooperation in telecommunications regulation. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Community Services outlining labour market indicators up to the third quarter of 2025, highlighting the progress of the two annual targets for employment and training. By the end of the third quarter of 2025, 78% of the annual target of employing 25,000 Bahrainis annually and 82% of the annual target of having 8,000 Bahrainis enter the labour market had been achieved. Regarding training, 108% of the annual target to train 15,000 Bahrainis annually had been achieved. These results reflect the agreements reached with the Legislative Authority during the discussion of Bahrain's general budget for the 2025-26 fiscal year and part of the ongoing implementation of the National Labour Market Plan 2023-26. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding the government's response to several draft laws submitted by the Council of Representatives. The Cabinet then reviewed the following ministerial reports: the outcomes of the Minister of Interior's visit to the US and the UK, the outcomes of Bahrain's participation in the 124th meeting of the GCC Financial and Economic Cooperation Committee, the outcomes of Bahrain's participation in the 6th Global Mental Health Ministerial Summit, the outcomes of Bahrain's participation in the 11th meeting of GCC Health Ministers and the 88th meeting of the GCC Health Ministers Council, the outcomes of Bahrain's participation in the 15th International Space Navigation Meeting of Ministers and Members of Parliament and the 76th International Astronautical Congress.